everyone, my name is Sam Willens, your mother of Valkyries, and the host of the Sword and the Ribbon podcast. Welcome back to episode 2. This week we're going to be talking about the Valkyrie Squad and how a book inspired an actual legion of warriors. So, let's stop, rewind, and you're probably all wondering, how did we get here? Well, I'll take you back to where it all started. In February of 2022, a client recommended the book series A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and that the most recent book reminded her of my themed workouts, and I should create a themed workout based on that book. Now, it was supposed to be one workout, one and only. Things went off the rails a bit. And this book series was actually my very first fairy series, and I had heard great reviews about it and just finally dove in. I devoured the first book in 6 days, and that theme carried through all the rest of the series. I consumed them quickly and eagerly. I listened to the audiobooks because I was always traveling and running around. And when I was on a road trip to see a friend, I was listening to A Court of Mist and Fury, the second book. On the way there and back, I had finished the second book and immediately started A Court of Wings and Ruin. I could not stop. Just plugged it right in, and I was lost. Needless to say, I was obsessed. I was scheduling my life around when most of the time to read and listen to them. During that time, I was regularly going to line dancing classes once a week, and it's about a 45-minute drive to get there. And I was actually looking forward to the drive to the class because I would get a full 45 minutes there and back to listen to the audiobook. From the start, I always loved and was intrigued by Nesta and her energy. I easily related to her, including having two sisters just like the Archerons. Quickly, I started relating my sisters and I to them, and I was always the Nesta of the group as the oldest sister. I even loved Cassian and his trainer energy. He leads the Valkyries with understanding and yet positive, assertive feedback and direction. And I too have the same philosophy when teaching fitness classes. I started to see a lot of parallels in my life from the books, and as Nesta says, like calls to like. As I was reading, I remembered my clients' suggestions for themed workouts. So I decided to create one. I created the Cursebreaker workout for the Micro Squad based off of Feyre's journey in the first 3 books. And then one workout turned into 3 for the Micro Squad. I ended up adding a Court of Sweat and Sass workout based off all my favorite characters from the series. And then finally, a Valkyrie training workout as I got to the most recent book, A Court of Silver Flames. While planning these 3 workouts, I was beginning to feel like I could make a program out of it, especially once I hit A Court of Silver Flames and the Valkyries were introduced. The idea was there, and then the deeper I got into the book, that fed back into the training. My variety of certifications led me to think about incorporating multiple styles of training into one program. I had always been told I had to pick one style or format of teaching to focus on. And I had never found a way to piece together the martial arts, yoga, Pilates, athletic training, and physiology into one meaningful program. But I decided that I didn't care what everyone else told me, and that I would figure out how to do it. And like Gwen says, in chapter 68 of A Court of Silver Flames, to prove to them, to everyone, that something new and different might triumph over their rules and restrictions. So thinking through all the possibilities, I mapped out 84 workouts, essentially 84 days of workouts of a full program, which is why at the end of the Valkyrie training video, I hinted at what would come in the Valkyrie Squad program. I finished the book and I realized that the motto essentially of that book is that to heal, you have to connect the body and the mind, and work on having a healthy relationship within yourself. And that's been what I stand for forever. Just like at the end of the book, as the Valkyries climbed Mount Ramiel to complete their training, I decided to climb my own Mount Ramiel and started creating the Valkyrie Squad. So let me give you a tour of Valkyrie Squad program. It's a 4-month program. Each month is titled after a part of the A Court of Silver Flames book. It begins with month 1, Novice. And to quote Cassian from chapter 12, we start with the basics. His mouth curled upwards. You won't be getting to swords yet. You need to learn to control your movements, your balance. You'll develop basic strength and awareness of your body before you'll pick up even a wooden practice sword. He glanced at her laced-up boots, feet and breathing. Learning how to grip the ground to balance your weight. It builds a foundation for everything else. Now, Valkyrie Andrea even messaged me recently about this exact part of the book, saying, I just got to the part in the book where Nesta finally starts training with Cassian, and I understand why you make us do what we do during Novice. It's awesome and hilarious because when I started, I was just as out of shape as Nesta. The book did a great job with portraying building a foundation to progression, which is exactly what this month is all about. And then we transition into month 2, Blade. We step it up a notch with our workouts, adding in fighting techniques to feel empowered. And just like Nesta and Gwyn say in chapters 24 and 25, I'm tired of being weak and depending on others to defend me. And I don't ever want to feel powerless again. Blade Month is also where you can find self-defense videos at the end of the month, so you too can never feel powerless again. Here's what Valkyrie Des said about Blade Month. So my sister found my boxing gloves, and so I'm practicing saying cross, uppercut, jab, jab, cross, and my sister goes, "What are you doing?" So I put day 2 Blade on, and she says, "Wait, this teaches you how to fight?" And I'm like, "No, this teaches me to be a warrior." Needless to say, I will probably be buying her a subscription so she can continue when she goes back to college. We conclude the original 3 months with Valkyrie. It's all about mastering your body and mind and achieving the status of Valkyrie. That's what it's all about. Chapter 60 of A Court of Silver Flames says, Cassian grinned. Short of partaking in the blood rite, you're now as close to being Illyrian warriors as you can be. Silence fell. Then Nesta said, wiping the blood from the corner of her bruised mouth, I'd rather be a Valkyrie. The females murmured their agreement. Cassian laughed. Gods help us. And this sentiment is the same idea of this program. And so many people would rather be Valkyries, and their mates can't help but think, Gods help us all. Here's what Valkyrie Mariah said about Valkyrie Month. I can't believe I just did Valkyrie Day 1, and it's time to sing Sam's praises yet again because I have never really used a prop sword, or a real one to clarify, in my life, and yet so much of that felt natural. It amazes me how much of the program has been building up not only the muscles needed to be a Valkyrie, but also the general movements and literally training my brain to move that way before we ever got to swinging swords around. Once you finish with the original 3 months, I just recently added a 4th month called Ataraxia. This month is all about endurance. You've learned the basics and techniques in the first 3 months. Now it's all about making sure you have the strength and endurance to withstand fighting. The name Ataraxia came from chapter 70 in A Court of Silver Flames that says, Nesta held the line in a storm of unflinching focus and death, guarding the friends at her back. Ataraxia, she had named that magic sword, Inner Peace. In this month, we are now trusting our bodies in this unflinching way. Finding inner peace within these movements through endurance is the focus. In the endurance movements, we are spending more time under tension on our muscles. We have to be unflinching in these movements, channeling our strength and quieting our minds. Because this month focuses so much on endurance and the style is so different, you will have to have incredible focus to recruit the correct muscles. Your mind will want to tell you to quit. It's tough and it's hard, and we have to remember Ataraxia throughout this entire month. Valkyrie Megan says, okay, I am loving the sword drills. Thank you, Sam, for creating this and making my childhood dream come true. While all my friends wanted to be princesses, I wanted to be a Jedi or a knight. I feel so badass doing the drills with my practice sword. The little girl in me is giggling with joy and fully awakening the inner warrior. All that to say, what's included in the program? There are 110 plus follow-along workout videos. They have music, I make jokes and innuendos, and hopefully you will laugh along with me. And every video includes a built-in warm-up and cool-down. You receive a printable calendar with a detailed suggested schedule, one you can follow at your own pace, and even a blank version to customize for yourself. There are 45 plus form, tutorials, and bonus videos to use if you ever need additional stretching, mobility, workouts for an area that feels tight or you might be experiencing pain in. Self-defense videos, which is something I am super passionate about and wanted to make sure I included. And there are 15 plus guided mind-stilling audios, which we will talk a little bit more about later. And the Valkyrie Squad is an open program, meaning you can start at any time. You can pause and take your time with this program, and it is not a race to the finish. We encourage going at your own pace or taking a day off when needed. That also means that you can repeat days, weeks, months, whatever, if you feel you need to before moving on. As a bonus, in the program, you get a free one-on-one form consultation with me via Zoom. I thought this was important to include because everybody is different and needs special attention. We want to curate modifications to your body. Not all bodies were created the same, and sometimes we need different movements. Lastly, though, what I think has become most important to the squad is the Discord community. Where to even begin about this community? In the beginning, I had a fleeting thought to create one, but put it far on the back burner for program details. Then I did a TikTok live before the program launched, and so many people, specifically Bex, asked about it. I thought, why the fuck not? Let's add a space for people to connect. Little did I know what it would actually turn into. The Discord community has turned into the heart and soul of this program. The community that has come together is incredible. They're always blowing me away. We have so many people on this server, which is a fancy tech name for the whole thing, by the way, and I'm still learning Discord. There are channels, or aka individual chat rooms, for almost any topic you can think of. We started with channels for each month of the program to discuss where you are. From there, it turned into channels about motivation, mental health, and recipes. Now we have a channel for almost anything you could think of, from tarot cards to gaming to even dream castles. The community and friendships that are coming together from this program are more than just about workouts, but finding your inner circle or chosen family. As Nesta says in chapter 59, I wish for us to have the courage to go out into the world when we are ready, but to always be able to find our way back to each other, no matter what. This community of people is now a legion of badass warriors, practicing actual sword drills and fighting techniques. They're the ones that inspired this podcast. They're the ones who keep encouraging me to expand the program, and all because we all decided to pick up a book and read it. So what does it mean to be a Valkyrie? It's about awareness, sense of self, and confidence that you can handle anything. You just have to hone it. You have the desire for more and willingness to fight for ourselves to attain it, to challenge ourselves and each other as much as we support each other. Iron sharpens iron, and we need each other's strengths. I have loved this program since it started, but Valkyrie Squad has come to mean so much more than a fitness program. I wish I could hold the pads for every Valkyrie out there, the way Cassian held them for Feyre. Every Valkyrie is a dream lived. One of the most important things Valkyries practice is called mind stilling. It's connecting meditation experiences with stilling your mind. I was raised learning different styles of meditation, but I had difficulty finding peace in them. The only time I did was at a yoga retreat. We went to a Buddhist temple where we did a meditation, and the monk leading the meditation said, "Thoughts are clouds that drift by." So when I read A Court of Silver Flames, chapter 39, and read the line, "I am the rock against which the surf crashes," it reminded me back to that experience. And this type of mind stilling finally resonated with me. It's a daily practice where you sit in a quiet place, quiet your mind, and focus on your breathing. There are different mind-stilling audios that walk you through different types of meditation, from letting thoughts and the surf crash over you like Gwen and Nesta, to relaxing your mind, to redefining your relationship with emotions. We have 17 different mind-stilling episodes in the program, recorded by my own sister, Becca, and if we are lucky, she might even record one for the podcast. So this week's piece of cauldron-blessed wisdom. We all are made of stardust, and we all have the same powers inside of us. We are joy and rage, wonder and fear, power, creation, fury, and desire. The question you need to ask yourself is, what are you doing with it? You are the one holding the blade. Make sure that it is sharp. Will you hone it, shape it, and create your best life? Honor your truest self. And then this week's action item. Draw or find a picture of a sword or a dagger, and then write down the first 3 steps to achieving the goal that you wrote on your ribbon. Make a plan to execute them and pick a date to begin. Then take a picture of your dagger and tag us on Instagram at the Sword and the Ribbon podcast. And remember, be strong, kick ass, and be fucking magical every fucking day. This episode was produced by Bex Castro, Mia Garlock, and Carolyn McMorrin. Special thank you to Taylor Ash for creating the music of this podcast. And thanks for listening to The Sword and the Ribbon by the Micro Squad. If you're interested in learning more about the Valkyrie Squad, visit us at thevalkyriesquad.com. If you're interested in learning more about the Micro Squad or Geek Gym for a class, visit us at themicrosquad.com. And make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you get your podcast from so you don't miss out. And if you liked this week's episode, please leave us a review.